y'all, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. Today's video is going to be a Valentine's Day themed DIY. I am going ahead and changing my decor to Valentine's because it's the next holiday coming and I am a holiday junkie. So I went ahead and made a wreath for my dining room to match my table decor, and it turned out like this. And I also made one for my front door and it turned out like this. So if you would like to see how I made them, I will let you guys jump into it. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and come along with me. So the first thing I always do when looking for a DIY project is to jump on Pinterest for some inspiration. I will show you the wreaths that I picked to give a little credit to the ones who created it, and I'm going to try to recreate them with the products that I purchased. We have met before. It's the same as always. So for this project, you're going to need a wooden wreath, a hot glue gun, some wire cutters, some floral wire, a ribbon, a letter of your choice, some twine, some floral balls, and then I bought these flowers from the Dollar Tree just to use the hearts off of them. Now I'm starting to realize the chance I've been given, but I am so afraid. Now I'm going to go ahead and start hot gluing the end to the base of the S just so that you can't tell that there's like wood behind it. And then I'm going to go ahead and like wrap it around. Now I don't want it to be too neat. I started off making it very neat just to give it like a good anchor, and then I'm going to make it kind of messy and I don't know, give it a little bulk. I wanted it to kind of stand out rather than be the actual shape of that flat S. So I'm going to twine it around and then cut it off, and I'm going to restart around the edge. And when I restart around the edge, I'm going to do like a crisscross pattern until it becomes completely covered. Like crisscross, 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 until I get it completely covered and make it a little bulky and a little messy. Now I don't know what letter you're working with, but for my S, since it is kind of curvy, the twine tends to want to move, like, I guess, slide. So I need to, every once in a while, put a little dab of glue just to keep it like anchored down in a spot so it doesn't continue to keep sliding down as I'm wrapping it around. Now a little trick for the end is when you cut it off, tuck it in to like at least 3 or 4 pieces behind and then hot glue it. Last year when I did an S just like this, I didn't do that and it slid off because of the wind. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some extra pieces to the end, again, so you can't tell there's wood behind there, and when you stand next to it, like sideways, you can't see the wood piece. This is my end result. It looks bulky, a little messy, and I truly like it. In the beginning of the project, I wasn't sure how I was going to get the hearts to stick to the floral wire. I attempted to use hot glue, but they were foam, so when working with foam, if you use hot glue, it's going to melt the foam. Like, it's kind of obvious. I should have known that, but I kept trying, and I got to like my third one and became very frustrated with it and decided to try a new concept. So what I ended up doing was taking the twine, bending it in half, and kind of making like a needlepoint hook, like where you would put the twine through, and then I ended up stabbing it through and just anchoring it as far in there as I could, and then I just wrapped it around. I'll show you here.
I was crazy to believe that I could live another day. that's above you, and no matter what, you're gonna be alright. You've seen the bottom, stars fell and I caught 'em. Now I'm just holding back my tears. I thought that I could be without you. I thought I'd let you go and drop you. I thought that I could just pretend that I didn't miss you. But now it's plain for me to see, hey, you're my only remedy. Won't you please come back to me? And I swear that I will never leave.
Now I'm just going to go ahead and add my silver accent pieces. I really wanted to do gold since my table decor is gold and pink and red, but they didn't have them in gold. They were sold out, so I went with the silver. I might change that part of this wreath for next year or even get a whole new wreath in general. I'm not sure yet, but I'm working with what I have. So I'm going to go ahead and like fluff out the pieces and cut them how I want them. I had never worked with a wood wreath before, and I'd never really applied anything to one. I've always kind of like bought my wood wreaths already decorated, but I wanted to try this year. So it was kind of a learning curve for me, and I never really worked with floral, like adding floral accents to a wreath. So it was a learning process, but I actually truly had a lot of fun with it, and it turned out okay. I needed a little more of the balls, but like it turned out just fine, and it's only for a month, so I can change it up next year and try again. But overall, I was kind of impressed with myself for this being my first time ever tackling a project like this. Now for the S, I went ahead and tied some of the floral wire to it in 3 points, the top, the middle, and the bottom, and then I tied the floral wire around the wreath. So this is my end result, and I believe it cost me less than $10 to make it, so I'm pretty pleased with my outcome. For the next wreath, you're going to need a foam wreath, chunky yarn, cardboard garland, scrapbook letters, and some flowers. To start the wreath, I'm going to go ahead and cut off a big but small section of the yarn, because if it's too long, you're going to be wrapping forever and having to like untangle it the whole way. To start, I went ahead and tied a knot, and then every section that I started again, I would tie the remainder of the first section to the new section, and then I'd cut it to where I needed it to be if it needed to be cut, and then I would just tuck those little top parts of the knot inside to the back so you really barely even notice them. And you're just going to wrap, wrap, wrap until you get the whole thing covered.
We don't have to think about it, oh baby, try to rest your mind.
When you get to the end, you should have a good portion left, and you're going to like twine it behind it and make yourself like a hanging hook. Now mine ended up being off when I hung it, so I ended up cutting mine off and attaching a ribbon for it, because when I was doing the wreath, I didn't think about my hook, and when I applied my garland, I ended up getting it a little off. You're going to want 6 like bands that hang down, and we're going to go ahead and apply the word love to the middle 4, and then I'm going to tear off the remainder of the garland that I don't need, but salvage my string so that I have room to hang it or tie it to the back. Forgot to say, throughout this whole process, do not wrap your yarn too tight around your foam wreath, and also do not wrap your string too tight, because you want the yarn to still have its puffiness, and you want the garland to hang rather than be taut.
Someone true like you are, 'cause all you need is somebody, all you need is someone true like you are, someone like you.
With the coupons I had and all the other stuff, this wreath only cost me, I believe, $15, and this is the end result, and I absolutely love it. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Consider hitting that subscribe button and stick around for some more Valentine themed videos. I will be posting 2 a week until Valentine's Day.